Good afternoon and welcome to We the People. I am your host, Rhodes, Pierre, and we're coming live to you at Down the Road Brewery. And today's special guest happens to be Ryan Spaulding, host debonair of the Outlaw Roadshow from the formerly WEMF. May she rest in peace.
Yeah.
As a radio broadcasting or web broadcasting media format. Welcome to the show, Brian. Ryan. I'm like, how did I get? I'm sorry.
So, Rhodes, thank you so much for having me. First of all, before we go into WMF and mention anything like that, this is such a cool place. We are at Down the Road,
yes,
which is like one of the very premier brewery spaces, and they've got we're over here by the fermenters. That's what's all the stuff that's around us. There's a can line outside here. There's just a million people. I don't know if they can hear them, but there are a million people out there drinking and playing pinball games and like talking. Oh, there's dogs everywhere. It's
food's
madness.
Amazing.
Is it?
Well, for when they come in and actually do serve food and everything. They have like a little pizza joint.
Oh
wow! A little microphone mishap right there.
That's okay. So yes, and I was a former colleague of yours.
Yes.
I would see you at WEMF all the time. The program is currently in hiatus, so literally this is my first radio program in, I don't know, a good bit, more than a year now.
Oh, well, I'm glad we could welcome you back and hey, you know what I'm saying, taking you out of hiatus.
Well, we can talk about what radio hiatus, but there's been all kinds of activity. Maybe we can talk about some of that today.
Yeah.
Big program coming up in South by Southwest 2019. Not involved with it though. Outlaw. So that's the deal. Don't sue me, South by Southwest. I'm not. It's set to coincide with your festival, yes, but it's not the same thing. We are aware of it. We don't want any of your lawyers contacting me. But they watch almost everything I do. It's kind of interesting.
Oh wow!
And that's been the case for
Roach. So you actually are being an outlaw by having a show.
So that's where the name came from.
Oh my God! We the people, baby.
Yeah. So
represent.
Long before there was ever Outlaw Roadshow Radio, I was putting on showcases all over the United States and different locations. I've even gone as far as Tel Aviv, Israel, and put on a big program there.
Nice.
Yeah, and Toronto. So we were in conversations to do something in Europe. I'm playing with the tokens, by the way, from the pinball game. So that's what that noise is. When I used to have a program years ago with CBS, and they used to scold me for doing things like that. So
we're going to scold you now.
I'll set them down.
Yeah.
So, the Outlaw Roadshow was always about doing something independent and apart, but doing it at times that were strategic. So anytime there's a lot of music fans in a specific city, that's a great time to put on a music festival. Whether or not it coincides with another music festival, that's anybody's business. But I just basically wanted to make the shows I want to see. So create that custom relationship. You curate a story, and then you make relationships between artists and fans, and if you're lucky, you get to do it again. Nice. And hopefully it's all free to the public, which is always my intent.
Oh, yeah. And then apparently this place is a barbecue joint that you're doing this in?
So, big ding, 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 tip of the hat, the Style Switch Barbecue in Austin, Texas.
I'm just a big fan of barbecue in just general. That's all I got to tell you.
And honestly, I know people don't, there's some people out there that don't care for meat. Let's just skip ahead for them, for about 45 seconds. But the rest of us are going to talk about eating barbecue right now. I'll tell you, Style Switch Barbecue is literally one of the best places in the entire city, and Austin's known for its great food. Anyway, I was able to secure a 4 days. Well, I guess this is an announcement. I announced
4 days.
Yeah, so I announced 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th, which is 4 days. But right now, I'm going to announce, if anyone's watching this, I'm going a 5th day. So we're going to go the 13th to the 17th in Austin, Texas, and we actually have a bunch of New England acts coming, so we're going to be a conduit to get the New England music down into Austin, but we're working with sets and with musicians from all over the world, so we're going to have lots of different sounds. It's going to be something for everybody.
No, so you're going to have folk, bluegrass, jazz,
whatever, the best of the best.
Nice.
Right? And it's free to the public. And the great thing about this is you don't need a badge like you would for, let's say, something like South by Southwest to get in the event. You just come down, you go and you get your barbecue, you sit down and you enjoy great free music. And it goes on for days and days and days.
Wow.
Yeah.
The barbecue and the music,
And beer.
Okay, I was just about to ask.
We have a beer person coming, and all the bands that play. I mean, this isn't a profit making scenario for anyone. So the bands, we can feed and entertain them, and
basically they get down there like gas money and basically survive a hotel, like you said, place that and you feed them and stuff like that.
I mean, they're already there. I mean, we're not asking. I've been doing this now for many years. This is the first year back in Austin for the Outlaw Roadshow. First year since 2015. So this is kind of like a big return to form. We just released the artwork for the show, which now has to be revised to reflect the extra day that I just told you about. But go to Outlaw Roadshow on Facebook or outlawroadshow.com. It's really easy to do. There's some details about the show. Like I said, the artwork is going to be re-released, but essentially we're going to have about 42 hours of music. I mean, free music to the public over the course of 5 days. It's going to be fantastic.
That does sound amazing. And then as far as like the music, is it going to be live streamed, or is it going to be any sort of like documentation of the event?
I would love to tell you that I am the master of all things, and it may appear that way on the outside. But what happens is you kind of just build the program as you go. And so one of the things I'm doing now is I'm looking for a chance for a live stream broadcast or some video. So like video or like audio podcasting out of this particular. I have a space set up, so I'm like hot on this right now. So like when I leave here, I'm going to be following up with media sponsors. I'm going to be listening to more music, and I'll have to be honest with you. There's nothing like throwing a festival event, multiple day, multiple hour, people from all over the world to get you to listen to music again. I find that even as a music lover, I my taste gets stale. I have to challenge myself. I have to go out and find new stuff all the time. And, doing something like this is a great means to challenge myself, listen to new music, and have an open mind. And so those things are rewarding in life, not necessarily just in music.
No, that does sound good. I mean, like as far as the way you discover the music is like by having this open forum for them to join you. Yeah. Like, do you ever like just put in random or like surprise me, kind of like on Pandora or anything like that, and discover music that way?
Oh, absolutely. Well, so that's one of the things. So not only should you should keep your antennae out, but you shouldn't just use one tool. You should use many different means. You should use many mediums to get your music. If you don't do that, you're kind of penalizing yourself. You're giving away some elements of control in your own scenario. Like, for instance, you're precluding things that'll never come to you. I started as a music blogger in 1996, and I decided that I wanted to share ideas, and I wanted to curate stuff. I wanted to be able to like become closer to people by sharing something I really liked, and then talking about the experience. And I tend to, the way I write and the way I speak are very similar. It's very kind of it's a personal approach. And so for those watching, and you may not be aware, I should have probably said this right away. My music blog is called Ryan's Smashing Life. A little funny, but it's rslblog.com, and there's material and content going back again to 1996.
Wow.
And it's I'm sorry, no, 2006. I'm giving myself a whole decade. It's okay.
No, I believed you when you said 1990.
I know. No, I thought about it. I was like, man, I would have been like very rich. Early bloggers made out like a bandit. In 2008, I was like one of the top 10 music blogs in the country.
Oh, nice.
So then the SEO came out, and if you didn't pay, then it was trouble to grow, and I didn't pay. So we still have a lot of legacy folks. I'm still getting thousands of visitors a week, so that's fantastic. So between the music blog, radio, previously TV, and then now live promotion, and I do want to return to radio. This is just too much fun.
No, it is. I gotta say, but it's funny. Like I said, last week we happened to have Lauren Pespiza.
Yes.
And so it was kind of going with the WEMF theme and stuff like that.
We were on the same afternoons too, so it's
it is kind of like a little like running reunion, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have Mike Crawford coming on later on. So, but you're saying like,
oh boy, I want to come on the show. He comes on. We used to do some sparring. He'd come in after me, and I'd try to go over and get him all riled up.
I don't know if he's calmed down or just like things run more on time. I guess I'm not sure, but it's just funny.
I'd love to. You let me know when he's going to be on,
He'll be on right after this. Like literally after when we're done, he should be showing up.
Oh boy,
if he's fine, you know what I mean. But well, anyway, so to talk about you were talking about the fact that you had gone on radio, and you're saying that it was that much fun. You talked about also creating the artwork that you're releasing for your music festival, and is that artwork like something that's made by local artists?
Yes.
Okay.
So one of the things I try to do is I try to keep my money completely in the world of art, and I try to find people that are very skilled and gifted, or are just looking for an alternative output, or need a little extra money. So one of the things I do is I typically try to see if I need graphic artwork, I have it done by someone like a musician.
Yeah.
So that that it's just another form of revenue, and it just kind of made sense to me, because so many people who are in music or are in TV or in radio have to do other things in order to supplement their income. And they have kind of a second life. And if you're good at radio, you're good at TV, or you're good at music, you still need to be good at something else in order to pay the bills.
Yep.
But it's like so I try to, so the latest artwork, which you can see if you go to on Facebook, search Outlaw Roadshow. It's in the banner for the Outlaw Roadshow website. It's for a guy named Aaron Sprancy, and he's a local musician, and he's a fantastic designer. He goes by the name Canary Coal Mine, so he's the guy that I'm working with on this particular project.
Nice. He's a musician and an artist.
Exactly, and then I use and once I have a connection, or then I can return to that person and do work with them again. And it's also really, really like easy work, because once he knows that, look, the guy pays, he has fun stuff. I typically don't have a set idea. I leave the visuals to somebody that knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Excuse me. And what I do is I let them select the artwork, the format. I just have general bits of information or data I need to include.
Okay.
And then I let them.
Yeah, basically, here's the information. You make it pretty.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's not my cup of tea. My cup of tea is putting these music acts side by side, or in a unique way that I don't think you're going to see another show necessarily like the ones that I've curated. And I think that a lot of people can say that, but I think that I actually book people that I care for who are gifted but wouldn't be getting love otherwise sometimes.
Okay. So when you said like no one will ever see a show quite like yours, like it's curated like yours, what stands out about your show? What makes it different?
Well, we have a lot of it. We have a lot of rather famous alum, and I'll put an act that, like an emerging act, who I think is really got a ton of potential right before or right after a mega big act. And so, it helps to generate energy, and you see the fact that these people have this mind-blowing, oh my God, we're opening up for whoever, you know what I mean? I also enjoy like a mixtape, so you may have the sounds be similar for a while, and then all of a sudden you might do something dramatic, so everyone's kind of like, oh.
Well, you know what? The art of the mixtape is gone because people don't really sit there and make tapes anymore. Like,
and
the mixing of the different genres and music and like, oh, this is going to be for the road for 45 minutes. It's a half-hour cassette on this side. You know what I mean? You had to time the music right to how many songs you were going to get in.
So I do a Spotify mix every month, or every 4 or 5 weeks, and Ryan Spaulding, if you want to look for me on Spotify. But it really, like, it's not the same as making a mixtape where you would have to rewind it to the point and then record over the thing, and but it's there.
The potential, but it's just amazing, like how like that whole
the rise and fall, the tempo, this is a cerebral mix. It's got a theme. This one's got heart. This one's gutty, but it's pop.
It's like, you actually literally had to pick the song you're going to put on right after the other and stuff like that. And these days, you just hit random or you just hit stream and then like you just let it come and stuff like that. So
exactly. Love music very much, and I think that the further we get towards technology is ruling, I think that people are actually getting away from music, which is weird. And I think that we have to remind ourselves that art is very, very important. Mm-hmm. So,
speaking of art, like, do you consider yourself an artist?
It's kind of so. I have a career
Actually, you have a day job. I see you have a day job once in a while.
Yeah, so these are some really weird things. Like, I have a medical device industry job, and I'm a project manager, and I manage a bunch of people, and then I have the music blog, and then I have the booking, and then in previous instances I had TV and I had radio. And it's just, there's different skills. It's just like, I feel like I'm Adam West and wearing the bat, I'm wearing my utility belt, and some of the skills are on this side and some of them are on the other side. I just honestly, I like to work hard and I like to get things done, and I like the expression, that I need to pay the bills, but I also have to. I also would love to help somebody find some great music, or help a band find a level of success where they feel happy and they sustain and they can continue making music. Okay. One of the things that's really tough for artists is that if they don't feel discovered, then they have that kind of self-effacing moment where do I feel rewarded? Am I getting that interaction with people? And with other artists, it's just about them. I mean, I love the fact that you love my music, but it's really about me creating, right? And so everybody's different. I would love to think that some of the work that I've done over the years, either through my writing, through booking tours, or booking festivals, and through my television and radio time, I would love to think that there were a whole cadre or a class of musicians and artists that I've helped foster, and they stayed with it longer than they would have, or it found a permanent place in their heart, even if they weren't continuously creating. That would make me happy. That would make me feel fulfilled. And the fact that I can still do that when I'm not even a young buck anymore. I mean, I'll tell you, we're getting older every day, right?
That's what
also more handsome, but that's another story. I just like the fact that we can still have a joy of creating, and so I do feel like an artist. I guess that answers the question. I didn't for a long time. I kind of felt like I wasn't really doing the right thing. I went to college for journalism, and then I ended up working as a journalist, and then that got me into medical writing, and that got me into, because that paid the bills, and I moved down to Massachusetts in order to see opportunity. And then that led to more of that type of work. And all of a sudden, in 2006, when I started the music blog, I just found this whole outlet, this creative outlet. And at first, the music blog name, Ryan Smashing Life, was very self-effacing. It was like, oh, look at all this stuff that this guy's doing. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was like making fun of myself, because I was going out to shows as an adult, and I just didn't know if anybody'd be into it, and it was. It was popular, and you can see it at rslblog.com. That's the That's the music blog, and I usually write a couple times, 3 times a week, something like that. But it's all stuff I care about, or I want you to know about, and it's stuff that I think you might like. Right, and so I tend to
like this show is like, the people I bring on, the people that I like, people that I love, people that I want to make, want to little shine a light onto and stuff.
But this is a great program, and the reason for that is because you can have a type of conversation. I mean, I had a great conversation with a friend last night. Having another one today. I feel like I'm winning this weekend.
Nice. Winning. Whee!
Yeah. This is the only winning that's happening in America today. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. Let's not talk about the local news anyway.
Yeah.
No, but just to kind of we're getting kind of closer to the show. Like, you're doing the show in Austin. Anything else that you got going on in the future that you'd like to?
Sure. Yeah. So we're in a brewery, which is ironic that I do this. I actually have a brewery series where I do live music in different breweries.
Oh, nice.
It's called the Crafty Beer Concert Series, which I think is I've done there.
They actually have a nice stage here.
Yeah, they do. I'd like to book here.
Yeah.
So this is like I'm looking. I was over there walking around, like pacing off the steps so I could see how large the stage is. I'm like always working.
So giving some love again to the Down the Road Beer Company.
Down the Road Beer Company
in Everett, Massachusetts, right down the street from Encore Casino. Come and check it out. Pinball machines, great food, and a rainbow coalition of a selection of beverages that are made with hops and wheats, and they even have like a hard cider and sodas. So
they have a bunch of. They have some experimental packages. They have
and
some.
they can their own beer here. They have their little canning machine right here.
Yeah, we're actually standing next to like there's probably 1 million cans right here.
Yeah, ready to go.
Ready to become something delicious for somebody.
Yes.
This place is really fantastic.
It
Down
is.
the road has probably about 20 vintage pinball games.
Yep.
The ones that I used to back when I was a kid.
Pinbot. They have like the Addams Family. They have
they've got like Walking Dead.
They have a few
got
different ones.
Mario Brothers. They've got Terminator. They've
no
got
video games, straight up pinball.
Oh yeah.
Straight up pinball. Great beer, awesome people. And again, it's We the People. And then Ryan Spaulding, seriously, it was awesome having you on the show, talking to you.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I'll see you around during the week anyway.
Yeah, well, this is kind of funny that we run into each other periodically, and I was like, we've been talking about doing this, so thank you so much for having me on. I definitely, I love the fact that you're creating. I love the fact that this is a thing, and you're doing so well with it. And I want to definitely thank Disrupt for being so cool and easy to work with. This is such a great endeavor. Great time. We the People, it really is the bomb.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the show. And thank you again for tuning in. Wow. Again, I'm going to do a mind fart because I did not check on who was going to be here next week. And I do this. Like you, So anyway.
It'll probably be me again.
Oh man, it might actually. I think it might be Lori Lucien, and she's actually an entrepreneur that's based here in Boston or in California. But we'll talk about that next week. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I'm trying to make sure I remember that's who it's going to be. But if not, that's going to be coming on sometime during the week after that. But again, thanks again for tuning in, and we're here every week. Like us on Facebook, share us, and is We the People. I'm your host, Rhodes Pierre, and thank you again, Ryan Spaulding of the Outlaw Road Show.
Check out outlawroadshow.com, the RSL on Twitter.
Yeah. And then he's going to be having an Austin Music Festival in Austin, coinciding with the other thing that's going on down there that we won't mention.
It's a big something by something.
Yeah, something like that. But so again, thank you again, people, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you actually for the production guy. We got to give a shout out to Brian, who's not here this week, but we're going to give a shout out to Michael, who's actually running the stuff this week. So we miss you, Brian, but Michael, thank you again for getting the show on.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
being
Michael.
Awesome. All right,
see you, bro.
Peace.